The broadcast stream of these championship games is brought to you by Tip Top Roofing, Faith Family Roofing.
And our coverage of the 2026 North Carolina High School Athletic Association Basketball State Championships presented by Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers continues. We're in downtown Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is the 1A Women's Basketball Championships. Mike Ward has brought the Tigers of Wilson Prep here for the first time. 25-3, 12-0 as they rolled through the Eastern Carolina Conference. And when I say rolling, they're rolling. Their average margin of victory in their last 22 games, Jay, 46 points. And here they are playing for a title. They rolled right past the top seed, Falls Lake Academy, 60-42 a few days ago. Meanwhile, for the Robbinsville Black Knights, the 9 seed out of the West. As a matter of fact, they finished under 500 in conference play at 6-7, but they're 17-11. They're under first-year head coach, 23-year-old Brooklyn Lester, and the Black Knights have had to beat the 1 seed, the 4 seed, and Andrews, a team that beat them 3 different times in the regular season and the conference tournament. But here they are after a 15-point win over the 6-seeded Andrews and Brooklyn Lester. 23-year-old head coach trying to take the Black Knights to a state title.
And Mike Ward over on the other side, 25-3 record on the year. And we expect this ball game to be outstanding with both teams coming from opposite sides of the state to meet here at Wake Forest.
Tony Hare, our referee. Ashley Wilson, Anthony Ferguson are the umpires. Wilson Prep is in the orange, Robbinsville is in the white. And off we go, Jay, for the 1A Women's Championship. Break it down. What are you expecting to see as the Tigers leave a three-pointer short 10 seconds in?
This is a Wilson Prep team that likes to play up-tempo, extend their pressure, and then they want to get on you, get off to a quick start, and then here's where their pressure will come. So it's going to be about Robbinsville handling this atmosphere, handling the pressure, and staying composed.
And there are the starters for this contest. Tatum and Atkinson starting lineups. Injured in a car wreck. All the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. The starting 5 for the Black Knights. A turnover on their first offensive set, and there's the starting 5 for the Tigers. And this is a well-balanced team. Paris Best, the sophomore, averaging 15 per. Runner across the lane is missed by Caden Brown. 2 offensive sets and 2 offensive rebounds for the Tigers.
Their size with the Tigers. So for the Robbinsville, the Lady Knights, they've got to box out.
And Brown will launch, miss a 3. Another offensive rebound, this one by Mahalia Thomas. And that runner all glass, tipped high in the air, grabbed by the Tigers, and their first foul of the contest. It'll be a long day for the Black Knights if they don't start securing the glass. The foul charged against Zaylee Chickalilly, number 10. Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. Injured in a car wreck. Called the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. First free throw is booked.
Grimmage down on the low block can really control things. And with a 2-big lineup from Mike Ward, this is a group that is tall, they're athletic, and throughout the year they've been dominant on the glass.
And a pair for Grimmage. Averaging 12 a contest. 6'5" sophomore. Pressure coming. And broken by the Black Knights. Deflected pass, a steal at the free throw line. Grimmage the takeaway, looking down the floor. Toms will grab and give the Tigers the first 6 of the game.
They're playing up-tempo, using their athleticism to get out on the run.
Here's the pressure again, leads to a 2-on-1. Bounce pass caught a knee. Still loose on the deck, picked up and now an outlet. Unguarded down the floor. Mahalia Toms, 2-on-2, takes it in, leaves it short. And the rebound pinballs around into the hands of Murphy. And the Tigers will set it up. Murphy on the baseline. Lost the handle, lost her footing. A little squirts to her teammate. This is Paris Best stepping right, fires a 3, no. And the rebound right in the hands of Bentley Riggins, number 44 for the Black Knights. Nearly 2 minutes have gone by. Robbinsville trying to settle in. Phillips. Where? In and out. And that is off. Looked like it was off of the foot Brimage, but it's out of bounds off of Robbinsville.
And here as Robbinsville comes through to get this turnover, and there's the ball going out.
They caught a couple of different shoes on the way out.
Close there, but Wilson Prep regaining possession. But they have been able to drive going against this man-to-man defense. That's where they've had opportunities.
6-0 lead. Here's Paris Best, the dump down pass, too low and too much pace and out of bounds. A turnover by Wilson Prep.
She's only a sophomore. 18 points in the regional final victory over Falls Lake Academy. Great season, still a couple more years in the program.
Chick-fil-A on the baseline, bounces to the opposite block, and it's knocked out. Last touched again by Robbinsville. Having a difficult time kind of handling the pace and the speed of the Tigers' defense, and then settling in the half court. Brooklyn Lester.
Yeah, already 4 turnovers, Patrick, so they've got to clean that up and maintain possession, handle this pressure better.
4 turnovers, only 1 shot at the rim so far. 6-0 to Wilson Prep. Toms into the corner, Paris Best. Up fake by Murphy, drives in, long step and banks it home. It's 8-0 Wilson Prep.
Murphy there, seeing she had a crease and just taking it all the way. She averages over 10 points per game on the season.
Chick-fil-A drive, stuffed, kept alive, and now it's a breakaway for the Tigers. Mahalia Toms had it blocked out of bounds from behind. Excellent effort by Zaylin Phillips to recover about 30 feet to prevent a wide open layup, but a timeout is taken quickly by Robbinsville. 3 minutes and 10 seconds have gone by. 4 turnovers and only 1 shot attempt so far by the Black Knights, and they're down by 8.
And a good timeout from Brooklyn Lester to bring her team over, kind of get everybody to settle in here. And you can see she's giving instructions, talk on the offensive end, how to move the ball, protect it, and then again, the team's off to an 8-0 start here. Everybody, hey, let's regain composure. We can come back, but this is what we've got to do. Let's just settle in.
And if she looks young, she is. She was playing high school basketball 5 years ago. 23 years of age, was playing at Surrey Central in Dobson, North Carolina, only about a half hour away. There's a great backstory behind Brooklyn Lester we'll get to a little bit later in the broadcast. They're trying to exhort her team and get them plugged in. This is Best. No with a 3. Rebound to the Black Knights.
Good job boxing out, being physical.
And now some numbers. Abby Ware. Contact, double team. Knocked to her knees. Rolls a pass through the legs to Phillips. And now they scramble. Chick-fil-A. Banked in a 3. And that might settle in the Black Knights.
First 3-pointer to go in, and now you start to settle in and feel a bit more of a groove here on the offensive end.
Paramount Auto 3-pointer. Visit ParamountAuto.com. First Paramount Auto 3 of the game. 4 minutes have gone by. 8-3. Tip pass still got through. Toms left it short. Rebound to Ware, and Ware wants to attack one-on-one. Driving in on Murphy, lays it in. 5 quick ones by Robbinsville, and they're right back in the heart of this opening quarter.
Timeout, looks like it worked. You get over to the sideline, regroup, and now Robbinsville comes back out looking much better on offense.
8-5 Wilson Prep, 3 left of the key, off the heel, rebound, back tap toward midcourt. Best tries to save and saved it right to Robbinsville. Now to 1-on-2-on-1. Chick-fil-A, the find for Ware. 7 in a row from Robbinsville. It's 8-7. And the Black Knights in a flourish within 1.
Well, a really good job there. You see a 7-0 scoring run using the fast break with that 2-on-1. Quick passes to get an easy look.
And this Wilson Prep team is not used to having teams put runs like this at them. A missed shot in the paint. Rebound to Phillips. And don't look now, but Robbinsville, after they gave it the first 8 of the game, could take the lead. Around a screen, Ware to the baseline. The leaner from Phillips blocked from behind. And here come the Tigers. Best out ahead of the pack, has the angle, and lays it in with the left.
She is a really good player. The awareness as they regained the ball there, she sprinted up the court.
There's a look down to the block. Nice look to the inside. Bentley Riggins with the delivery off of the Chickalilly pass. 10-9 Wilson Prep.
Riggins kept the ball high so it wouldn't be blocked. Didn't allow the defender time to recover and come over.
Now Robbinsville show zone, turnaround foul line jumper is buried. Caden Brown with her first points. All 5 starters have scored for Wilson Prep. 12-9 Tigers. Below 2 minutes for the first quarter. Being chased. Weir gets it away. Pass came precariously through the lane. Back to the sideline. This is Chickalilly. Short. Shot blocked on the second try. Weir gets it back. Nowhere to go. And off a wing jumper, high arcing shot is all air from Phillips. That is blocked. And all the shots are being challenged very well by the Tigers defense. And that's knocked out of bounds, and it will belong to Wilson Prep. Minute 31 for the opening quarter. Frenetic end-to-end action for the 1A Women's Championship. The early lead to Wilson Prep, 12-9 over Robbinsville. Back to Winston-Salem, the 1A Women's Championship game. Here's a look at some of our fans at the contest today on our Original Grills fan cam. Elevate your grill game. They could elevate their game, couldn't they?
Out of school today.
Mid-afternoon on Wednesday, March 11th. And there is Brooklyn Lester, 23-year-old, first-year head coach. And the timeout, very timely. After the first 8 were scored by Wilson Prep, she settled her team down, got a banked in 3, couple of stops, some transition buckets. They're trailing by 3.
Well, these coaches do such a good job of knowing the pulse of their team and when to pull them to the side and when to slow down the momentum. That was an important timeout she called. It really changed course here in the first quarter for her team.
This jumper, Knights basketball, where a bounce pass in the short corner. That is on the side of the rim from Zachlin Chickalilly. Follow won't go. The Tigers come out of there with it. A little more than a minute remaining in the opening quarter. Murphy goes over the top. Wide open 3, side of the rim by Caden Brown. And the Black Knights doing a much better job on the glass.
They are boxing out. They're being physical and really making sure as soon as that shot is up, they find a body to box out.
Chickalilly to the elbow and Ware. Locates a wide open Phillips for the tie. Jalen Phillips knocks down the 3. It's 12 all.
And only a sophomore. That is her strength. She was just waiting for that ball to return to her on the perimeter, and her feet were set. She was ready to go.
Paramount Auto three-pointer. Visit ParamountAuto.com. Right back into the 2-3 on the Black Knights. Final 15 seconds. Boy, what a moral victory this would be for Robbinsville if they can get out of this first quarter in a draw. 8 seconds left. Paris Best. Harassed a bit by Phillips. He'll drive. A wild shot long. Loose ball. Best has it with under a second. It won't count. Side of the rim anyway. And a terrific recovery by the Robbinsville Black Knights. They gave up the first 8 of the game, and they end the first 8 minutes dead even. Done with a quarter from Wake Forest for the 1A title game. Wilson Prep 12, Robbinsville 12. Let's take a look at our first quarter stats brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Jay, what do you see?
Well, for both teams, it was a tale of two first quarters. The Lady Knights coming back strong.
12-12, second quarter begins. Robbinsville with the basketball in the white uniforms, and Wilson Prep in the orange. First 8 scored by Wilson Prep. Robbinsville can take its first lead here. Unable to do so, and the rebound ripped away, but a tie-up called. Grimmage had her hands on it, but then Zaylin Phillips got in to connect her. Arrow belongs to Wilson Prep.
Well, we talked at the beginning of the broadcast about the importance of rebounding for Robbinsville. Well, early on, that was Wilson Prep winning, but now it's even at 10-10 to this point.
There's see the ready-to-roll garage door points to paint. 6'4" edge for Robbinsville. Call Raleigh's garage door opener experts today. Best one hands a pass to Murphy off the wing. She'll return back to Best and flip it off. This is a long 3 that is rimming off. And Wilson Prep has missed his first 9 threes of the title game.
Nice box out from Bentley Riggins, number 44, getting the board.
By the way, Jay, in the first 9 minutes of this title game, 1 foul. Live action. Near takeaway midcourt. Diving for it. Great work by Malaya Thomas. Leads to the steal. Wilson Prep, though, blows the layup. And Ware the rebound for the Black Knights. And they want to run if they can.
And the referee's allowing the teams to play. And as a player, you have to recognize how the game is being called and adjust accordingly.
Boy, they really are allowing a lot of contact. Even right there, a little shoulder shiver by Chloe Murphy. It's knocked into the backcourt. The Tigers are on it, angling hard to the hole, and that is missed, but a whistle is blown. And free throws for the 3rd time today here in this first half.
Well, Paris Best on the drive comes up limping a little bit. We'll see if she can shake this off.
Paris Best will head the free throw line. Brought to you by See-Through Construction. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. So far, just 5 of 19 from the floor are the Tigers. First free throw is missed. And one more coming for Best, who scored 18 in the regional final. She's their top 3-point shooter this year, but so far 0 for 2 today. It's 1 and 2. 3 points for Best. Luciana Stansel is on the floor. Number 15 for the Tigers. And Best will check out. He might get checked out at the end of the bench by the athletic training staff. She will. 13-12, Wilson Prep. Chickalilly stepped on a foot, kept her balance. And now we get a reach-in foul going against Grimmage. First foul on Grimmage. Tony Hare, our referee. This is his 2nd state title game. The other one was 23 years ago at Reynolds Coliseum between Thomasville and the Quermans. On the baseline, side of the rim, battle for the rebound, diving on it, Chickalilly. And this will be another foul on Wilson Prep.
Is that on Grimmage?
Yeah, it's 2 on Grimmage in the span of about 9 seconds. Grimmage, the 2nd leading scorer for Mike Ward's Tigers.
She's only a sophomore, and with her size now as she heads over to the bench, that is a huge blow. Because on defense, she is a presence in that paint area.
Riggins runs down the basketball on the sideline. Quickly they reverse it. Deflected to Ware, and there's the first lead for the Black Knights. They trail 8-0. A couple minutes in, it's 14-13. And now Ware comes down the floor hobbling, and a 3-pointer is knocked down by Paris Best. They had missed their first 9 until that one. Paramount Kia of Asheville 3-pointer. Visit ParamountAuto.com. Ware is clearly favoring an ankle. She's about to be subbed out in the next dead ball. Diving down the line, deflected pass, a steal by Best. And Best keeps the ball alive, and up the floor she comes with a 2-point lead. Looks into the corner, wide open 3 off the heel, and a late whistle. And I believe there was a foul on the shot attempt. It's going to be 3 free throws coming for Chloe Murphy. Second foul on Phillips.
It's on the closeout. Wilson Prep here, the drive from Best. they're going to say it was actually on the box out. It looked like maybe, not sure, it was after the shot.
First free throw missed at the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. Pair of free throws missed by Murphy, but there's one more coming.
Please welcome to the floor for the Black Knights,
And as the sub comes on the floor, a reminder to you, stay tuned for the Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report. We'll have a special interview with the Commissioner, Q Tucker. First half highlights and more. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com. 1 of 3 for the freshman Murphy. And it's a 3-point lead for the Tigers, 17-14. Ware is on the bench, and she is now being attended to by the Robbinsville athletic trainer. We got a foul out on the perimeter that gets the hands on the head of Mike Ward. Chloe Murphy called for the foul. Again, most everything has been allowed to be played through in this game. Now we're beginning to see some softer fouls draw whistles. I think that's the reaction of exasperation from Mike Ward. And we've seen a lot of heavier contact like that that's been allowed to play through.
Kind of changing the calls here in the second quarter is a strong drive from Chikalele.
That's a blocking foul on Thomas. 17-14 is the score. We're talking about Brooklyn Lester, first-year head coach for Robbinsville. She's actually scheduled to get married in 66 days. She's only 23. She was actually a coach down in Georgia up until the summer months. Got engaged to her fiance Peyton, who is in the stands in the first couple of rows behind the bench for Robbinsville today. He's from Robbinsville, so in the Robbinsville, there was a position that opened up for a elementary school PE teacher and the assistant coach for the Black Knights. It was interesting. It gets her back in the area where her fiance Peyton grew up. She came up to the interview, sat in with the head coach, the AD, and the superintendent. The then head coach made an announcement to the superintendent that he was leaving the program and leaving coaching. The superintendent, the AD, left the room, came back in and said, "Hey, Brooklyn, would you like the head coaching job?" She took it, although there's more to the story. 17-15 the lead for Wilson Prep, and we're tied. Running soft, big shot by Chikalele.
Brooklyn Lester is going to be pleased with their team's composure and nice offensive set.
17-all, 4:20 for the first half. Off of bounds, Toms looks over the zone defense. Best. Murphy from deep, way off. On the deck to save is Stancil, but right into the hands of Robbinsville. Trying to weave out of there is Elena Wolf. The freshman got tripped in the backcourt. All right, so the postscript of that story is Brooklyn Lester took the job, but she was still under contract with the high school in Georgia, who declined to let her out. They suspended her, referred her to the Board of Ethics of Georgia, and Brooklyn Lester then resigned and then officially took the job, and all of a sudden she was the head coach of a varsity program 4.5 years after she graduated from high school. And now at the end of her first year, Jay, she has her team playing for a state title.
It all worked out, didn't it?
One more free throw coming from the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, our contractor of choice on the OBX.
It's been a busy year for her, but it's amazing how everything kind of falls into place and what she's been able to do here with her team to make it to the state title.
And they are back in front by one. One additional postscript to that, so the season began. They played Andrews 3 times, lost 3 times before they beat them in the regional final. After the first game against Andrews, one of the players quit in that game in the middle of the game. 2 other Robbinsville players quit after that game as they were dealing with the coaching change and maybe an argument about who should be playing more minutes. And they played Andrews a second time, got beat, but they didn't get on the court for 6 days because of snow. And they played a tight game a couple of weeks ago. Then they beat Andrews in the regional final last week. So there is the Amtrak version of the Robbinsville Black Knights last 12 months or so. And Riggins was not even looking for that pass from Chikalele. Unforced error. Wilson Prep gets it to Brown. And Brown called for a walk. 3:16 to go first half. Timeout in Winston-Salem. Wilson Prep has been winning games by almost 50 for the last 2 months. Tight one for the 1A women's title. Wilson Prep 19, Robbinsville 18. Now, coming up toward the end of this 1A Women's Championship game, Jay and I will check out the Akeem Anastapolo Law Firm play of the game. Injured? Don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800 all sevens. We will also have the Riddle and Riddle player of the game, brought to you by Riddle and Riddle Injury Lawyers. Riddle and Riddle when justice counts. Wilson Prep 19, Robbinsville 18. 3 minutes and 16 seconds remain. First half from Winston-Salem. This is the 1A women's title game. It'll be Black Knights basketball. Again, over the course of this year, they finished 8th in their conference, the Smoky Mountain 1 and 2A Combo League. 17 and 11 overall. Wilson Prep, meanwhile, has just steamrolled just about every competitor they've seen since the first 2 weeks of the year. Driving attempt. Free throws on the way for Leah Wolf, the freshman for the Black Knights.
The Black Knights, Patrick, they're handling the pressure better. I mean, this is a Wilson Prep team that just creates turnovers seemingly from everybody throughout the year. I mean, that's been their foundations, their defensive pressure. But now, Robbinsville finding ways to break through and create opportunities driving to the hoop.
I mean, to me, they're breaking the pressure, but it still is uncomfortable breaking pressure.
It doesn't look smooth,
yes,
but they're still kind of finding ways. And after that initial spurt where Wilson Prep came out 8-0, they've just gotten back in this game, showing fight.
Couple of free throws, 3 points off the bench for the freshman Aaliyah Wolf. 20-19, and Robbinsville knows is back on top. Now Wilson Prep, a tremendously gifted offensive team, but just 1 of 12 from three-point territory. Half of their shots in this game have been from behind the three-point line. Hard runner off glass, banked home. Hayden Brown. Tigers up 1.
Brown going to the mid-range game with Grimmage still out.
And Murphy picked the pocket of the other freshman, scoops it up, missed it. Best the rebound, handles it, and locates a teammate off of the elbow. And there is Jerica Artis, her first points.
Wilson Prep starting to get into a groove, shooting the basketball, 2 for 2 on those possessions.
Well, the points can come in waves for the Tigers. The entire east half of the state can attest to that. Some contact. Ware, good to see her back on the floor after a slight ankle turn. Misses the shot. Backing up Chickalilly. 3 off of the back iron. There's Ware for the rebound and sticks it home.
Staying with it. The offensive glass. Robbinsville just not giving up, getting in position and battling for that board.
There's a lot of size being given up by the Black Knights, but they have as many offensive rebounds as Wilson Prep does. And a majority of Wilson Prep's own boards came in the first couple of minutes. Best misses another 3, and the Black Knights up the floor. So critical for the Black Knights' success to have Ware healthy and on the floor. Handles the dribble somewhat, got it away. The driving layup missed by Chickalilly, but on the other side there's Bentley Riggins. And Robbinsville seesaws back on top.
It doesn't matter how it looks. It's just how effective can you be. They break through the pressure. It's kind of coming at them strong, and is make a pass, missed shot, but they stay with it.
And extending that top of the 2-3 a little bit. There's another three-pointer miss, this time by Murphy. Second chance, no. And now the Black Knights can extend to their biggest lead of the championship. Again, barely handling the pressure with the dribble, but they do break it nevertheless. Chickalilly on the baseline. Reversal, no. And Riggins lost the handle. Squirts to Murphy. 2-on-2, but she has the angle. Through the lane, and Murphy gets the roll.
Well, that is a high degree of difficulty shot that Murphy just completed there. Now we get a timeout, but that is her on the run. That's when they're at their best.
So this is interesting. That's 2 timeouts used by Robbinsville already in this first half. The first came when it was 8-love Wilson Prep. This time it is Brooke and Lester calling and drawing up to play for the final 38 seconds here. A reminder, stay tuned. Air Experts Heating and Cooling halftime report is on the way. We'll sit down with Q Tucker, the commissioner of the NCHSAA. First half highlights and more. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com. Well, it's going to Mike Ward's home for Wilson Prep. They're 25-3. They won 24 games in a row, and Jay, they started the year 1-3. And the teams that beat them, Bishop McGuinness, one of the 2A Western Regional Finals. Rocky Mount went to the 5A Western Finals. And Hoggard will see them in the 8A Championship game later on tonight. So that's the quality of competition that Mike Ward's Tigers have faced this year. After that, I mean, they haven't been in the same galaxy as a loss after that third and final loss earlier back in November to Hoggard.
He front-loaded the schedule to make it as hard as possible that first month of the season, and his team has turned it on from that point.
I mean, as a matter of fact, since then, since those 3 losses, they've only had 1 single-digit victory. That was against Goldsboro, what seems like months ago. They won by 7. Out of the corner, 3 on the way. Front rim no from Chickalilly. And the rebound to Brimage, who's back on the floor with 2 fouls. 15 seconds to play in the half. To the right wing, that 3 is missed by Best. Rebound weak side comes to the Tigers. Best gets it back, floats off one leg, scores. It's a blocking foul on Riggins. And Paris Best, who's just been fighting and fighting to find her shooting touch, gets one to go in the last 9 seconds of the first half.
She's the top scorer, 2 times all-conference player, and here she gets the call. You see the emotion, strong play. You get close to halftime.
3-point play, and now a 4-point lead for Wilson Prep. And the Black Knights nearly turning it over. Now they may not get a quality shot. They might just try to avoid turning it over before the end of the half. Best, a takeaway on the baseline. Overshoots the rim. It would have counted. And that is the end of the opening half. And Wilson Prep is in a battle. They scored the first 8. Looked like they were going to run the Black Knights out of this title game. But Robbinsville, gritty, took a thin lead, and they take a 4-point deficit to the break. Won a women's championship game, 28-24, Wilson Prep.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Well, hey there, everybody. Thank you all so much for tuning in to the State Championship High School Basketball Games. Joining us is our longstanding partner all the way from Ingalls Markets, Miss Melissa Level. Melissa, are you loving these excellent basketball games?
I love it. What a great season it's been, and the best of the best is right here now on television.
Best of the best is right. Now let's talk about that longstanding and robust partnership between Ingalls and High School Championship Athletics. What all does that entail?
It's just absolutely wonderful to be able to connect with all the schools within our region. You know, we're in 6 states, and so we have Friday Night Lights with football, we do basketball, we have softball, even some Olympic style sports, and we go all the way up through college, and then of course some minor leagues. But we just love that high school spirit and the fun with that. A lot of those players work with us. A lot of their parents have a shop at our Ingalls, so it's kind of like a big family coming to watch all of them play, right? So we love that.
We'll love it as well. Melissa, as always, thank you for taking the time to speak with us here today.
Thank you.
All righty, let's get back to the game, folks.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
Championship week is always a special time for high school athletics in North Carolina. Joining us now is NCHSAA Commissioner Q Tucker to talk about what this event means for student athletes across the state. Commissioner Tucker, Championship week is finally here. What does this event mean for the student athletes who have worked all season to get to this stage?
All of the teams that are playing this week are regional champions. And so they entered this week as already a champion. And now they're trying to, put that cherry on the top, so to speak, and go home with a state championship.
This year's championships feature 16 games across 8 classifications for both boys and girls. What went into the decision to structure the championships this way?
A couple of years ago, the membership voted to amend our bylaws so that you could have no more than 64 schools in a classification. Now, it would have been very easy to stop at perhaps 6 classes, but at the rate we've been adding new schools, we would very quickly needed the membership to amend the bylaw again so that we could have more than 64 teams in a class, or we'd have to go ahead and have more classes. So the recommendation to our board of directors was that we go ahead and go to 8 classes, and that would give some flexibility in terms of adding new schools.
How does that expanded format create more opportunities for schools and student athletes across the state?
Because we have more schools that are getting into the playoffs than would have ever been in the playoffs, and they're able to make a deeper run. And that's exciting for those schools as well as for those communities.
For many of these athletes, this is the biggest stage they've ever played on. How does the association work with schools to prepare them for moments like this?
They needed to know, where your team will unload and how you get into the arena, what your dressing room situation will be like. Lawrence Joel Coliseum will be the largest arena they have been in for some of them. And so we just try to make sure that all the nuts and bolts are in place for the coaches to be able to share with the athletes.
When the final buzzer sounds on championship weekend, what do you hope every student athlete walks away remembering about this experience?
We want you to play hard. We want you to play to win, but we want you to do that and have fun so that you walk away and you think, we won, it was great. Or we were runner-up, but it was great. And I had a great time with my teammates. For some of them, it would be the last time that they put on that high school jersey because they're seniors. So we want them to go away with those memories that will last a lifetime.
Commissioner Tucker, thanks for joining us, and congratulations to all the teams competing this week.
Thank you very much.
You're watching the Air Experts Heating and Cooling Halftime Report. Air Experts. Schedule your tune-up today at yourairexperts.com.
28-24, Wilson Prep on top of Robbinsville in the 1A Women's NCHSAA Basketball Championship. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter here. Jay, let's get to some first half highlights. First 8 points of the game went the way of the Tigers. It looked like it was going to be a one-way affair, but things changed.
They came out and they were on fire. They were comfortable, and their defense led to offense. And it looked like they were just going to carry this ball game all the way through in the first half. They came out shooting well, everybody getting involved. That 8-0 stretch, it really put Robbinsville on their heels, but they found a way to come back. They just stayed with it. Here, Abby Ware coming through with two, getting out after that timeout midway through that first quarter. They really looked like they started getting into rhythm, got more comfortable, and started to play their brand of basketball.
Yeah, Ware led the way for the Black Knights with 8 points. Paris Best finally knocked down a couple of late shots in the first half with 9 as we take a look at our first half stats. Sponsored by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Arthritis Knee Pain Center, relief without surgery or opioids.
Both teams shooting okay, but you look at the rebounds and turnovers. Robbinsville, shockingly the smaller team, up +6 on the boards, but the turnovers, that's why Wilson Prep's ahead right now, 11-2. Robbinsville has to protect the basketball, for Wilson Prep has done a really nice job.
And the points in the paint presented by Ready to Roll Garage Doors. If you're ready to roll, call Raleigh's Garage Door experts today. 14-14, the points in the paint. 4-point spread for the 1A Women's Championship. Second half from Winston-Salem next. Ready for the third quarter. Wilson Prep in this 1A title game, leading Robbinsville 28-24. Patrick Kiedis, Jay Sonhalter back with you from Winston-Salem. And Jay, we go back to the first half stats. It seems like this game could go one of two ways. If Wilson Prep is suddenly able to knock down perimeter shots over the zone, they're going to have the inside track to win it. They were 1 of 15 from threes. But then if Robbinsville cleans up the turnover, they're -9 in the turnover margin if they're done by 4 points. If that can be fixed by Brooklyn Lester's Black Knights, then they may have the inside track. We'll see which one wins out.
Well, I think both coaches during the halftime break had an opportunity to say that exact message. Hey, for Robbinsville, if we protect the ball, we're going to win this game. And over on the other side, Mike Ward, hey, we just knock down shots that we do all throughout the year. Just make your shots. We're going to win big. So I think both coaches could use that as a positive message here coming out of the break.
All right, third quarter underway. Robbinsville in the white uniforms, Wilson Prep in the orange and black. And there's turnover number 12. A high pass through the hands of Chickalilly. 9 seconds in, first turnover of the second half for Robbinsville. So here come the Tigers down the floor. They're facing that 2-3 zone again. Toms for three, front rim, offensive rebound by Brimage. Couple of power dribbles, goes right at three defenders. And Angel Brimage with her second field goal of the game.
Well, with her starting off here in the second half. Now, she had 2 fouls in the first half, so she had to sit out primarily end of the first quarter and most of the second quarter. With her size at 6'5" being on the sideline, that was a huge opening for Robbinsville, but now she shows her presence coming out of that first possession.
Well, was that ever a huge screen set by Riggins earlier in this possession? Here's Ware. And there is Riggins with the offensive rebound. Touch on the baseline. Off the bottom of the glass was Phillips. And now out ahead of everybody is Chloe Murphy. And Murphy misses the uncontested layup. It's out of bounds, and it will stay with the Tigers.
Chickalilly just clapped right near her ear to try to distract her, and it looked like it worked. Just off balance, not able to connect.
Here's a look at that layup.
See, there's the clap.
That's right. No contact. Major distraction. Out of the corner, Thomas misses a three. Chick-fil-A the rebound. They're now 1 of 17 from three-point range in this game.
They just haven't found the touch. And they're a good shooting team. It's just today it hasn't clicked yet.
There's Ware dribbling through traffic. They oscillated around the perimeter. Chick-fil-A from the sideline does not get the bounce. And her sister with the rebound and a tie-up. And it will go the other way to Wilson Prep.
Wilson Prep, though, not boxing out. They have a size advantage, and even though they're going to regain possession, they've got to be more physical when the ball is shot.
Minute and a half gone by in the third quarter. 30-24, the Wilson Prep Tigers have the lead. Best through some traffic, misses. Brimage tries to control the rebound. She does and fights her way straight up and scores again. It's a different looking Tigers inside presence when she's on the floor.
Great point, because this is a different team with her height and her ability to score, then affect the game on the defensive end.
Very close to picking up her third foul right there. Hesitation, Chick-fil-A throws back underneath, blocked straight down, picked up by Toms. It's a 3-on-0, but chasing is Phillips, and Phillips interferes with it and causes the turnover. That is great effort by the sophomore Zaylin Phillips, number 12.
Hustling back is so important, not giving up on the play, and Phillips sprinting all the way back. Not only does she give the ball back to her team, but she held off without getting a foul call. Look at her, she is about 5 yards behind, and she just gets back into the thick of things to cause the disruption.
And meanwhile, at the other end, getting the ball up the floor, Robbinsville turns it over again. A pass into the sideline near midcourt. 14 turnovers now by the Black Knights. There just is not a pathway to a comeback if that number continues to rise for Robbinsville. Bounce pass through a couple of hands, picked off, taken away, and now here's Wolf up the floor, one-on-one against Murphy, and she draws the foul. I'll tell you, Leah Wolf coming off the bench has been a splendid addition to the floor, handling the ball, being a disruptor defensively, and pushing the pace here.
She's done a little bit of everything. It comes out here one-on-one. She just attacks, goes downhill, and knows at the very least she's going to get to the free throw line.
Second foul charge against Chloe Murphy. And at the free throw line, first of two, no good, long and left from Zaylin Phillips. One more coming from the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. If you are injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. 32-24. Robbinsville has yet to score in this third quarter. There's their first.
Well, kind of similar to the beginning of this game. Wilson Prep coming out strong. Robbinsville slow start. Now we'll see if they can regroup here to cut into the lead. Showing a zone defense.
32-25, pass again to the opposite block. Here's Best, ducks around a defender, misses the short jumper, and Abby Ware the rebound for the Black Knights. A look ahead, here's Wolf, that freshman again, gets the spin off of that left-handed layup in transition. A good look ahead, running the floor, freshman rewarded. 3 straight by the Black Knights.
Got 6 points now.
They let that one go, they do not let that one go. Grimmage will head to the free throw line. Black Knights on the inside trying to sell an offensive foul. Whistle did not come, and that left Brimage wide open. That contact not enough, and some contact after. 34-27 Wilson Prep. 8 rebounds, 6 points for Brimage. And now to the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. Well, the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson, if you're injured in a car wreck, that won't count. Even I saw that as a violation, Jay. At Best is berating herself for that mistake.
It's too anxious.
Is this a violation, Jay?
Yeah.
Is that allowed?
Yeah, that one's
There's
hard.
nothing wrong with that.
That one's hard not to call.
34-27. Black Knights down 7. Wolf enters the Riggins, pivots, nothing there. And Wolf too long. There's Ware with the rebound, backs into the corner.
No box out though.
Best went for the steal and missed it. Wolf now dribbles away from more harassment. Stepping into Chick-fil-A, hits a 3. Zaylee Chikulili's second of the game. That's a badly needed 3 for Robbinsville.
So similar to the beginning of this ball game. Wilson Prep shoots out. Now Robbinsville getting their footing, coming back here.
Grimmage triangulated. Out front it comes. Murphy, short. Grimmage, the offensive rebound, and another putback. And by Angel Grimmage is beginning to exert her authority on this one for Wilson Prep.
She's 6'5" with a good touch and a feel for the game, and she had to sit over on that sideline for half of the first half. So you know that she's coming out here with a sense of urgency.
And she bats away that interior pass. Up ahead, Paris Best driving in. Missed it. Offensive rebound, that's missed. Another old board, pivoting back. That one is fired home by Brown.
That's a much tougher shot from Brown.
Yeah, sure
The
was.
first two were gimmies, but she found a way to knock that one in.
Wilson Prep, I mean, they have the ability to run and hide in this one. This is a real dangerous moment for the Black Knights. Can they issue a reply? Where it gets fouled on the perimeter. 3:18 for the third timeout in Winston-Salem. Wilson Prep has given up the lead just for a brief moment a couple of times in this one. And they're back up on top of Robbinsville, this time by 8. 38-30 Tigers. Well, folks, here's a look at some of our fans today for the 1A Women's Championship game on our Original Grills fan cam. Elevate your grill game. Robbinsville fans in the black and white. Wilson Prep fans mostly in orange. A few Appalachian State fans sprinkled in. And Wilson Prep, you just kind of get the sense that they're close to tapping the gas and getting a decent lead here on Robbinsville. It's Black Knight basketball out of the timeout with 3:18 for the third. And they just have, the Black Knights have not been pristine handling the basketball here in this third quarter.
And I would play through Grimmage if I'm Wilson Prep. Give her the ball on every possession. They're here on defense. Just continue to pressure and try to continue to create these turnovers.
And another turnover.
15.
4 already in the first 5 minutes of this third quarter. The lead has never reached double digits. This matches the biggest lead. Wilson Prep scored the first 8 of the game before the Black Knights rallied. 38-30. Paris Best on the deck, takes a screen, crosses it over, kicks out to Brown, short with a 3. Ware tracks down the rebound, now with an angle on Brown, and Brown got it. That will send the Black Knights to the free throw line. I mean, that's right there. 3 goes in, you're down 11. Now all of a sudden you have a chance at the free throw line to get back to within 6.
It's a long rebound and a good job from Ware recognizing, hey, Grimmage isn't patrolling the middle here. I'm going to take it all the way when you've got numbers and an opportunity to try to get to the line.
Abby Ware at the free throw line. Off the heel. Your reminder coming up. Stay tuned for the play of the game, sponsored by Akeem Anastapulo, the law firm. Injured, don't scream. Call Akeem. Dial 800, all 7s. One more for Ware. Takes 1 of 2. 9 points for Ware. That leads the Black Knights, 38-31, Wilson Prep. There's Best darting through, some contact, a wild one out of bounds. Robbinsville basketball.
They're still trying to figure out how to attack the zone. And right there, you just got to find a way to move the ball around, and that's really playing into the zone defense, just kind of creating a wedge there where there's nowhere to go.
Robbinsville basketball, here's Ware as the defender falls. Bounce pass down low, that layup is missed. Phillips, the stick back won't. And now taking it away, Jacqueline Chickalilly got in there, forced the tie up, and it will stay with the Black Knights.
And the rebounding is what's given Robbinsville an opportunity to stay in this game. I mean, they're just getting extra possessions.
Best intercepts the inbounds pass, angles, bumps, misses another layup, and the Black Knights have it. That's 3 or 4 we've seen Wilson Prep miss in this third quarter. That was hammered out of bounds, blocked from behind by Nigel Brimmage.
And the pace picking up. Here's the pass, and Brimmage timing it perfectly to send it out of bounds.
Best almost went for another steal. She's becoming very active out on the perimeter. Phillips kills it, almost stepping the sideline, and does. A bounce pass goes off of the leg of Chloe Murphy. Murphy stepped right in that passing lane and had an easy steal if she could have controlled it. Again, Robbinsville just very loose on some passes in the half-court set. 17 turnovers for Robbinsville versus only 5 for the Tigers.
And that's not going to win you this game. Nope. But if you clean that up here to close it out, that's going to give you an opportunity, but you cannot continue at this pace.
Here's Murphy attacking Chickalilly is where the foul. So a couple of free throws for Chloe Murphy. Again, for Mike Ward, I mean, this team's been at the point where you feel like you make one more shot, you can start to feel pretty comfortable here, but they're just not getting it done as the free throw is missed. One more coming from Murphy. And a reminder, stay tuned for the Riddle and Riddle player of the game. Toward the end of the contest, Jay and I will select Riddle and Riddle when justice counts. One more for Chloe Murphy. Misses them both. A takeaway though, steal by Best, she misses. Rips it away, looking for an angle, and then throws it right to her coach. And he fakes a three-pointer off the sideline. Right now, the way that the Tigers are shooting threes, his three-pointer and his polo and loafers and Dockers is probably their best opportunity to make one today.
He had a good-looking setup there.
I mean, I'd put money on that shot. On the floor, they missed 17 out of 18 so far.
Coach, I've got confidence in you.
We really do. 1:07 to play. Third quarter. 38-31. Contact, no foul. Loose ball right back to Robbinsville. And there's Abby Ware.
She's limping again here, coming up, playing through pain. But what a job from Ware, staying with it, getting that board.
And she's still flexing that left leg, left ankle, something she was dealing with in the first half. Free throw is forthcoming for Wilson Prep. 47 seconds left, third quarter. Phillips collects her third foul. Paris Best, the sophomore, to the line. Makes the first of 2. 39-33. One more from the Tatum and Atkinson free throw line. Injured in a car wreck. Call the heavy hitters at Tatum and Atkinson. Again, another 1 and 1 out of 2 for Best from the line. 42 seconds ago, another turnover by Robbinsville, but then given right back by Wilson Prep. Murphy's pass from inside midcourt sailed over the end line. 39-33. I'm honestly, Jay, I'm stunned it's only a 6-point game right now.
You just get the feel that this should be double digits.
There's another live ball turnover and a whistle. 32 seconds left for the third quarter.
And you look at the field goals there, the discrepancy in shots.
Yep.
Right now, Wilson Prep 13 more field goal attempts, and that's because the Lady Knights have turned the ball over so much. They're just not giving themselves opportunities to shoot the ball at the same level of Wilson Prep.
Here's Chloe Murphy, drives, slipped, lost it. 21 seconds for the third quarter. Black Knights have it. Can they handle the pressure this time? They're on the chase. Murphy took a swipe at it and forces another turnover. That's great effort by Chloe Murphy, sprinting from behind, just tipped the ball away with a fingertip, and the Black Knights give it up again.
Chloe Murphy not giving up, just continuing to hustle back to make a play.
Jay, that's 8 turnovers in this third quarter for the Black Knights. Final 7 seconds. Final 5. Murphy got away with a walk. The one-legged jumper. Good, but wave it off. The official on the baseline saw the travel. It was not called by the official out front. Might have been shielded off. 2 seconds left, third quarter. 39-33, Wilson Prep. Dangerous pass. Oh, Best went for another steal. Goodness gracious. Wilson Prep. Seems like they're turning over Robbinsville on every possession. Somehow, some way, it's just a 6-point game though. We'll head to the fourth quarter for the 1A Women's Championship. Wilson Prep 39, Robbinsville 33. All right, there's a look at our stats through 3 quarters, presented by Arthritis Knee Pain Center. Arthritis Knee Pain Center, relief without surgery or opioids. The turnovers for Robinson, the 3-point dismal shooting for Wilson Prep. Still 24 minutes in, nothing settled.
Yeah, those are the 2 factors. Then you look at points in the paint, and Wilson Prep Brimage primarily there, +6. They go back to the turnovers, and that's been the huge factor in this ballgame.
Final 8 minutes for a 1A Women's Championship. Wilson Prep basketball leading by 6, 39-33. Quick jumper, all air. And see before it goes out of bounds, and here come the Black Knights. The first thing, if I'm Brooklyn Lester, can I get the ball over the timeline without giving it back to the team in orange? That has been their biggest culprit. Abby Ware, nowhere to go. Chased by Brown. Chickalilly into the corner, Phillips. Where the Tigers defense really making the Black Knights work hard. That is partially blocked by Brimage, takes it away, jump ball, and it will stay with the Black Knights. Black Knight basketball. Am I the only one who noticed that?
No, I saw it as well. Okay. I think it was just you and I.
Wilson Prep inbounded to begin the fourth quarter. 39-33. They played in the middle of the zone and turn it over. That's the 21st now by Robbinsville. Down the floor, Best cuts across the lane, attacks for the foul.
And Wilson Prep Patrick's going to look here to stretch out the lead going to the free throw line. But if you're Robbinsville, you can't wait for the comeback. It's got to happen now because you're here in the fourth quarter. You'd imagine Wilson Prep is going to start to go a little bit slower, take their time, and shorten this game.
First free throw missed by Best. 6 of 14 from the line. 1 of 18 from 3. And again, another miss. And this is a Wilson Prep team that has been demolishing the competition, scoring 80, 90 points a game most of their regular season games. They're having their worst shooting game of the year, but again, give a lot of credit to the Black Knights 2-3-D. Stepping in, wing jumper, that is short, no good. And the rebound to the Black Knights, Chickalilly. Up ahead where? 39-33. A bounce pass down low. Riggins can't finish, but she got hits. And Riggins to the free throw line for Robbinsville.
Is that 3 on Brimage?
It is.
Wilson Prep foul charge for 22 by Angel
So
Brimage.
Brimage collects her third.
He's first of the
They're
quarter.
driving up there, force Brimage to come out contest. And that's what allowed the pass off to Riggins.
A timeout, 6:42 to play. Fourth quarter, 39-33 in favor of Wilson Prep. But we're going to keep it here. There's a look at the Robbinsville huddle. And if we can get a shot here, our referee, Tony Hare, who's running down to the baseline on the Wilson Prep side, there he is right there, Tony Hare. In his 29th year as an official, this is his second state championship game. The other one was 23 years ago. He came over to us at the end of the third quarter and said, hey, this might be a little fun nugget for you to mention, but my daughter is in labor right now, about to deliver my first grandchild. So I asked him, I said, is she watching the game? He said no, but she's in Cape Fear Hospital in Fayetteville in labor right now, and here is Tony officiating this game. His thoughts are certainly with his daughter and with his grandchild-to-be, and that's likely going to be where he goes in a matter of about 45 minutes. So congratulations to him, best wishes to his daughter and the grandchild. And he might be saying, hey, can we get this game moving a little bit faster here? I don't want to miss it.
How about the memories for him? This is a great day. State championship, then go meet your grandchild.
So thank you for sharing that story. 6:42, long minutes and seconds remaining in this fourth quarter for Tony Hare. First free throw is missed by Riggins. I mean, you can understand if Tony Hare's not calling any fouls the rest of the way, right?
Yeah.
Running clock, anybody?
Yeah. Quick fourth quarter. I got an important place to go.
Riggins misses a pair. 39-33, Tigers leading. Best skips to Murphy. Baseline drive. Murphy is an attacker. Can't finish, and Best picks up another offensive rebound. Meanwhile, Chloe Murphy down to take a shot. Slow to get up, and
She hit her head.
Yeah, Tony Hare has stopped the action.
Yeah, as she shot that ball, then fell to the ground, it looked like she hit one of the legs of her teammate.
Yep, good
there.
call.
Yep.
Caught Best left knee. Exactly right. Good eye, Jay.
And if I'm Wilson Prep here, again, you still have 6 minutes, 28 seconds left, but I am pulling the ball out, spreading the floor, and using some clock. There is no reason to rush. Force the defense to come out and play you. They're sitting in a 2-3 zone. Just hold on to the ball.
6:20 for the fourth. 6-point lead for the Tigers.
You have a cushion. No reason to go.
Murphy looks. It's a tough pass to make to the wing by Murphy. Got to Brimage. 3 defenders are on her. Nearly traveled. Lost the handle. It's taken away by Robbinsville. And that's not at all what I think Mike Ward was looking to see on that offensive set. And that's a kick ball by Murphy.
And that's exactly what Robbinsville wants to do, is when the ball gets to Brimage, just collapse down on her. 3 players on her, they get the turnover, and that's how they come back in this game, is getting turnovers.
Well, first off, the entry pass is at the wrong angle there. You're leading Brimage away from the block. It was a tough ball for her to even handle. Here's a 3 straight on. Buckets! Zaylee Chickalilly, her third 3 of the game. It's a 1-possession game. in the fourth quarter for the 1A championship.
Robbinsville now 3 for 8 from beyond the three-point line, where Wilson Prep 1 for 18 on the day.
Brown in traffic, a foul.
Good take from Brown. Getting to the line, cutting through the zone defense.
Third foul on Riggins.
He's got 6 points, 5 rebounds in this game, but that was an important take as Robbinsville, one possession game, you have to have an answer if you're Wilson Prep, and she saw an opportunity to get to the mid-range.
And finally, a free throw is made if you're a Tiger fan. One more coming from the See-Through Construction free throw line. See-Through Construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. Makes a pair. Wilson Prep is now 7 out of 16 from the foul line. I mean, they're not shooting well from anywhere. But what are they doing well? Forcing turnovers. The defense has been terrific. 3 defenders in the backcourt here trying to force another one. Scrambling, the Black Knights break it. Now they have some numbers. Here's Phillips, rims it off for 3. Offensive rebound, Cork's going around, and Brimage just took it away. Outlet to the Toms. She's wide alone to the hole and makes a layup a lot more difficult than it probably needed to be, but Tom scores 43-36. And we get a timeout called by Brooklyn Lester. Tell you what, that timeout saved another turnover. She's on the other side of the floor from the action, and the ball is being batted away just as the whistle was blown. And she needs to get the Black Knights in sync quickly. 5:07 for the fourth, 7-point deficit facing Robbinsville.
And you almost get the feel for Robbinsville. Of course, protect the basketball, but you're going to continue to have to make a couple three-pointers to come back. You're down 7. You've had success from the three-point line. So I think the message here is, hey, let's spread the floor, protect the ball, pick and roll, but let's drive, attack, kick the ball out. But you've got to hit your shots on the other side for Wilson Prep. Mike Ward saying, hey, play good defense. Let's continue to create turnovers, contest every shot. And here, Brooklyn Lester. The team's only down by 7. You have plenty of time, but you cannot allow any more lead to be had here by the Tigers. You've got to keep it at 7 and start to chip away.
Black Knights had 11 turnovers at halftime. They've already committed 10 in the second half. And we have 5 minutes left in the fourth. They have got to wax and shine their offensive sets, and there's another one. Simply stepping on the sideline, Chick-fil-A, tightly played by Murphy. I mean, this just cannot continue if the Black Knights are going to have any kind of hope to come back. Under 5 minutes to play in regulation.
Plus 12 for the Tigers.
And Murphy's going to force the defense to expand. They stretch it out. She'll drive, and a foul going on Robbinsville.
And now it's switched to a man-to-man, and that is not the strength for Robbinsville right now. They're playing well in the zone, packing it in on Brimage, but now having to spread the floor out and guard, it's going to create driving lanes, and that's where the Tigers excel.
Yeah, with their quickness and ball handling ability, we'll see if they stick into it. They are out of the out-of-bounds play. Runner off glass, yes, from Chloe Murphy, the freshman. Huge bucket, draws the foul, and gets the lead up to 9.
Big moment in this game. Murphy, that high pass, recognizing she can take it going downhill. The defense doesn't collapse over. She gets to the line for the and 1.
And a three-point play for the freshman. She has 10. Going for the steal. Best dislodges the ball, does take it away. Baseline drive and throws it home. And it's the biggest lead of the championship. Just like that for Wilson Prep. They're up 12. Blocked down by Brimage. Taken down by Stansel. And Wilson Prep on the gas pedal. Stepping up Murphy. Nobody addressing her. She'll drive it and miss it. Brimage got fouled.
And I know they're getting to the free throw line, but Mike Ward over on the sideline was telling them to pull the ball back out and try to use some clock.
throw line goes Brimage. See-through construction free throw line. First of 2, all net. See-through construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. 13-point lead, 49-36. It's a 10-3 run to begin this fourth quarter by Wilson Prep. Second one rolls off, rebounded by Riggins. Meanwhile, Abby Ware just picked up her 4th foul. Here's a 3 off the wing, in and out. Weak side rebound, Best is on it. And the Tigers can feel it now. Contact layup, good, no foul. Bucket, good once again. Paris Best. 15-point lead. Quickly Phillips to the inside. Fired off glass, no good by Riggins. Run down by Phillips. Out of the corner, short. Offensive rebound, that's a little short. Battled through the air, one more shot for Robbinsville, and that one does rattle in from Phillips. That is going to keep Robbinsville barely in this one.
Yeah, they needed that one, but still a steep mountain here to come back down 13, and now Wilson Prep clearing things out and spreading the floor.
Out near midcourt, here's Murphy. Gets right around Ware with 4 fouls. The pull-up in the lane, no. And the rebound last touched by Wilson Prep. 3:07 for the fourth. We'll take immediate timeout. Wilson Prep on the doorstep of the 1A Women's Championship. 13-point lead, 3:07 to play. Well, the Wilson Prep Tiger fans beginning to dance in their seats here with a 13-point lead, a little more than 3 minutes left. They have never played for a state championship, nor has Robbinsville. It has not been a Sistine Chapel type game in this championship, Jay, but Wilson Prep has now found a way. They made a couple of shots, and that defensive pressure, forcing turnover has been relentless.
Well, and for Wilson Prep, they've had huge blowout victories throughout the year. They've faced good competition, a couple losses. But whatever it takes, that's all that matters. Is this hasn't been a clean ball game, but as long as they win, they're not going to care. And they've protected the ball.
I mean, their defense makes your offense, any offense, look sporadic and ugly.
It speeds you up.
Yep. Bucket by Wolf, 11-point game, 2:48 left. Murphy, who's been terrific, the freshman.
No reason to even shoot. Just pull the ball out.
Creates some space, attacks from the top, leaves the layup short, and it's a whistle will go the other way to Robbinsville.
And I know you've got a huge cushion, but again, if you shoot and miss, you're just giving the ball back to Robbinsville with an opportunity, even though it's going to be tough for them to come back. They've got a shot if they have the ball.
Stansel has picked up her 2nd foul. She checks out. Caden Brown back in. 2.5 to go. Breaking the pressure to the rim. And Brimage got her hand on another one, and that's her 4th foul. Fans thought it was clean. Might have gotten her with the lower body. Stops the clock. Phillips at the line with 2:29 left.
Brimage, 11 points, 14 rebounds. Been a factor in this game, playing with foul trouble throughout.
So Phillips hit the line, her first free throws of the championship. One more coming. See-through construction, your contractor of choice on the OBX. One more from the see-through construction free throw line for Zaylin Phillips. Robbinsville sophomore makes the both. 9-point game, timeout, Mike Ward and Wilson Prep. With 2:29 left. Wilson Prep will throw in length of the floor. Take us into both huddles, Jay.
For Wilson Prep, it's all about protecting the ball now, which you've done better than Robbinsville throughout the ball game. But again, keep talking about it. Use the clock. No reason to go fast here. Take your time. There's an open crease. Okay, attack. If not, your best friend is 2:29. So just waste time here, and you're going to win this ball game. But you can't turn it over. For Robbinsville, Brooklyn Lester is telling her team, hey, we've got a chance. I believe, but this is what we've got to do, and it starts on defense. You've got to create turnovers here, and you're going to have to execute on the offensive end, but it starts on defense. You've got to find a way to get the ball back to your offense, trap, and you may have to foul here soon, but I would still try to go for turnovers here initially and prove that Wilson Prep can hold on to the ball.
Full court man-to-man, a long touchdown pass gets to the timeline, and Best attacking Ware with 4 fouls, and they're going to turn it over. Wolf with the steal, loose ball, taken right back by the Tigers, and Best gets fouled. Well, Brooklyn Lester got what she needed. A dangerous high-arcing pass, forced the tempo, hastened things up, had the turnover. Could have been a foul there on Brimage. If so, that would have been number 5, but that was let go on the baseline.
And it worked out for Wilson Prep getting the line. But again, that is not ideal playing fast.
One more coming for Best. Best again makes 1 and 2. Brimage runs down the offensive rebound and then gave it right up to Abby Ware. 2:13 in the fourth quarter, 52-42. A takeaway to the inside by Wolf, and a reach-in foul on Wilson Prep. Boy, Leah Wolf could not possibly be playing any harder than she is.
She's shown a lot as a freshman.
10-point game. Quick jumper off the baseline. Yes. Who is it? Wolf. She's in double figures, 10 points. Best leans into contact and drives home the layup. Back to 10. 54-44. Wilson Prep leading. Phillips to Ware. Misses from the foul line. And Wilson Prep has offensive players down the floor. Brimage looks for one of them. He gets threaded through, and there is the bucket by Towns. The lead is 12. We're under 80 seconds for regulation. And a timeout call by Robbinsville. 1:19 remaining. Robbinsville down by 12. Again, the number 9 seed coming out of the West. A brand new head coach. 3 players quit in the span of a single game earlier in the regular season. The youngsters have learned the new system, learned the new coach, and to the 1A championship game. Meanwhile, Wilson Prep has just been annihilating teams left and right all year long, and they won it primarily on defense, shooting, pressure. Today, they haven't shot well at all from the three-point line or from the foul line. Defense is going to win this championship for the Tigers.
And you're exactly right. I mean, not everything will click. And, of course, you want to shoot the ball well in the state championship. It hasn't been there today, but their defense has stood up in a big way. That's been the factor in this ball game, is the ability to create turnovers and making it stressful. Even when Robbinsville has been able to score, it hasn't come easy.
And the other impressive part about it is this long three is hiked. It's off the heel. Best chases down the rebound and stepped on the sideline. Sometimes when you're not shooting well, you don't want to play defense. You don't have the effort. You lose your spark. That has not been the case with the Tigers. Almost writ large, the entire team has not shot well. But we've seen the hustle, we've seen the steals, we've seen the energy on the defensive end.
They play so hard and they care. And here's another turnover, just not giving up.
Toms took it right away from Ware, and then running the floor, saving the ball is Phillips. Wilson Prep fights it back. Best is now going to run away from the defender, and Ware has just fouled out of her final high school game. And credit to Abby Ware. She was one of the players who Brooklyn Lester was saying had to buy in to Brooklyn becoming the brand new head coach. Everybody did, but when you make that transition that late after a coach has been around for a while, it takes the upperclassmen to set the example. And Abby Ware did just that this year with Brooklyn Lester. They've only known each other for a handful of months. And a quality embrace right there. One more free throw coming. And it is imminent for the Tigers. 20 points now for Best. And Best, on just a 7 of 20 shooting game, has still been a critical linchpin for the Tigers in this one. 58-44. Last 40 seconds of the 1A championship. Underneath, and there's Brimage, one more block. That's 5 in the game for my Angel Brimage, the sophomore.
11 points, 16 rebounds, plus 5 blocks. And her presence has affected many other shots.
What a line. That's deflected on the sideline. Back in the hand, Chickalilly.
She's only a sophomore,
Yeah.
and she's going to have an opportunity to play at a high level in a couple years once she gets to college.
26 seconds left. 58-44, Wilson Prep. Best one more time, a U-turn. And the clock winding down. The Tiger fans to their feet, waving the orange towels. The last 10 seconds, Mike Ward applauding on the sideline. And the first ever appearance in a state title game after knocking off the top seed in the regional final. The Wilson Prep Tigers are 1A women's basketball champions for the first time ever. Forcing 24 turnovers on a day when they made only 1 of 18 three-point field goals. Defense wins championships for Wilson Prep. And they end the year with their 25th straight win. And it is a state title victory in Winston-Salem. Post-game celebration and a visit with Mike Ward, the head coach of the Tigers, is next. The 1A women's basketball champions have just been crowned. The Tigers from Wilson Prep, a 58-44 win over Robbinsville. Jay is now with the head coach of the Tigers, Mike Ward.
Coach, your defense was amazing today. All those turnovers your team created. What made you so good on that end of the court?
That's what we live by all year long. We live by the defense. Our defense is what creates our offense, and we stuck with it all year long, all year long.
And your team has blown out so many other squads throughout the year, but this was a close ball game. Your team was challenged. What really came through? What did you see in the fourth quarter?
Well, we've seen it before. We played the early schedule, and we've seen it before with the Goldsboros and the Rocky Mounts and the Bishop McGinnis. We've seen it before. So we can close out ugly games because we've seen it before.
And you had great fan support here. This is an awesome atmosphere. What does it bring to bring home the state championship to the Wilson Prep community?
It's awesome. It's awesome. Listen, I want to give kudos to we're the opponent over there, but to bring it back to Wilson, North Carolina, after 26 years, it's awesome to be a Wilsonian right now.
Coach, congratulations. You're a state champ.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
What a year it has been for Wilson Prep, right? About 3 months ago, they win the state football championship on a last-second field goal in Chapel Hill. And now they take down Robbinsville again, this time for the women's basketball championship. 58-44, the final. Congratulations to Mike Ward and the Wilson Prep Tigers. Well, we got a couple of things to get to. Let's get to our Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm play of the game, and here it is. It was the defense that forced 24 turnovers today, and there is Paris Best on the bucket on the baseline, tightrope, and after the turnover, our play of the game. Injured? Don't scream, call Akeem. Dial 800 all sevens. And what a game Best had in this title game. 21 points, 8 rebounds, and we'll get to our Riddle and Riddle player of the game, and there she is, Jay. Our Riddle and Riddle player of the game is Paris Best. When justice counts.
Yeah, she was a star, only a sophomore, and she came through in a big way. And all these buckets, all the defensive plays were affected in a huge way. And just with her size and what she can do, she's impressive now, but just think about how she's going to be able to take her game to the next level here the next few years.
Yeah, so by Angel Brimage, our player of the game. Best, a huge game. Brimage, 11 points, 16 rebounds, couple of assists, and 5 blocked shots, made all 4 of her field goals. So congratulations to Brimage, to Best, and the entire Wilson Prep squad. And as you're putting the headphones back on, like, what a last 3 months, 4 months it's been for Wilson Prep, right? Twice they've gone to a state title game against Robbinsville. Twice they've taken down the Black Knights. Football on a last-second kick, and here today, they were the better team. They had a tough shooting day. It's a tough, scrappy Robbinsville team, but we saw so much athleticism, so much talent and will by the Tigers.
Well, I think it says a lot about Mike Ward and what he was able to do when they didn't shoot the ball well, but they dominated in other ways, and they can beat you with their offense, with their defense. They're a complete team, and when one isn't clicking, can you still find a way to win? And they did that today. And I'll tell you, we talked about their defense and how good it was, but that is also effort. There's skill there. You have Brimage blocking shots, but that is just a want-to on that end of the court, and they play at such a high level. They make it very difficult on the opponent's offense to even get going, let alone shoot a ball.
And, we mentioned the fact that the Tigers have been rolling right over teams, putting up 75, 85, 95 points in games regularly over the course of the year. This is the best team in the West coming out of the bracket, Robbinsville. They just forced the best team in the West to commit 24 turnovers and made them look very unsecure and very kind of awkward on the basketball floor. Think of what Wilson Prep was able to do over the course of the year against teams not nearly as skilled and good as Robbinsville. I mean, they're forcing 30, 35 turnovers a game just because of that effort you mentioned.
And they play with such a speed where they can really turn up their opponents to make them play off-kilter, disorganized. But then on offense, this wasn't their game. But when they are at their best at creating turnovers, getting out on the run and executing, and they can just blow teams out with their speed and the pace that they play with.
All right, and Jay, before we wrap things up, let's talk a little bit about the Robbinsville Black Knights before we go, because this is a year unlike a lot of years that I've ever come across as far as a coaching change, personnel change, players leaving the team, and the team coming together with this kind of magical run. How hard is that to achieve for a new staff, players departing, players sticking around, and in the same 5-month span they play for a state title?
Well, it's extremely difficult. In fact, it could be a situation where there's so much change that it goes sideways. And for this team, not only did it go all the way to the top, you could tell how they bonded, how they played together, the chemistry, and very impressed with, as Mike Ward gets his medal and his trophy. What a moment for him. But very impressed with both the coaches in this game, and over for Robbinsville, Brooklyn Lester, what she was able to do in year one, 23 years old, bringing her team to the state championship.
And there is the championship trophy that's coming to Wilson, North Carolina. It is a proud day for all the Wilsonians, as Mike Ward mentioned. And what did he say, Jay, to you? We know how to win ugly or play ugly or turn games ugly.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we saw here today with Mike Ward's squad. And again, they know how to win that way. And today they did it all the way to a state title. Let's get to our final stats, brought to you by Arthritis Knee Pain Centers. Relief without surgery or opioids. And here are the numbers, Jay. 1 of 18 from 3, 24 turnovers for Robbinsville. Those numbers didn't change from halftime.
Yeah.
They just got worse.
They just kind of stay in the same path there. I'll tell you what, though, the turnovers, all the other stats matter, of course, but the turnover, no matter if it's basketball, football, any sport, that's the one that really matters. Wilson Prep protected the ball at only 11. They forced their opponent into a big number. That's why they're the state champion.
All right, so it is a final of 58-44, and let's see the points in the paint. 30 for Wilson Prep, 20 for Robbinsville. And ready to roll garage door points in the paint. Brought to you by Ready to Roll, Raleigh's garage door experts. So give them a buzz today. 58-44, now the individual awards after the team trophies handed out. The most outstanding player for the Knights, Abby Ware, in her final campaign. 2 starting seniors graduating, 3 on this entire Robbinsville team. There's a look at Brooklyn Lester, 23-year-old head coach who just became the head coach back in the summertime. What an extraordinary job that she and the Black Knights did over the course of this one. The most outstanding player for the Tigers, Paris Best. 21 points, 8 boards, 6 steals for Best.
And now
the MVP announcement, which looks like it will match our player of the game selection, because I'm expecting number 22, Angel Brimage, to be announced.
Courtesy of Morgan & Morgan for this 1A Women's Championship contest is from Wilson Prep Academy, and it's number 22, my Angel.
And there's her MVP, Angel Brimage. 4 of 4 from the field, 16 rebounds, 6 on the offensive side, 11 points, 2 assists, 5 blocked shots, and a couple of steals as well. Wilson Prep won a women's championship in their first ever endeavor in the state championship game. Congrats to Mike Ward and the Tigers. Final score, Wilson Prep 58, Robbinsville 44. Well, we'd all like to take a minute to thank the great sponsors that make these broadcasts possible. Riddle & Riddle Injury Lawyers, Air Experts Heating and Cooling, Tatum and Atkinson, See-Through Construction, Ready to Roll Garage Doors, Arthritis Knee Pain Center, Akeem Anastapulo Law Firm, Paramount Auto, Tip Top Roofing, Original Grills, and Ingles Markets. Through all these sponsored partners, their contributions make these championships possible for all of you at home. For our entire crew, for Jay Sonholder, don't go anywhere. The 8A championships are on the way, but not until Mike Ward brings the trophy home to Wilson. Wilson Prep over Robbinsville, 58-44 for the 1A championship. So long from Winston-Salem.
Ever since my boots first hit